Nordic. If you've been following what they've been doing recently, well, they put it simply, they held an AMA on 8chan, and for those who know what 8chan is a split off of 4chan. It is a imaging and kind of just post whatever. It is a wild west of a website,
Yep.
which included, hey, child pornography, that is posted on there usually. And the people over at THQ Nordic believed, or took the opportunity, or I'm assuming the one person thought, one PR person was thinking it was a good idea to do an AMA on that website. Shortly afterwards, when they find out what the hell 8chan was, they realize, oh, they made a huge mistake. To the point where they even had to post on Twitter, we do not support child what's it looking for? Child pornography. We do not support that. And also, in a following statement, THQ Nordic posted on the website. This was on the 3rd, so that was 3 days ago. This letter is to offer my sincerest apologies and regret for THQ Nordic GmbH Vienna's interaction with the controversial website 8chan last Tuesday, February 26. I condemn all unethical content this website stands for, even if no one within the THQ Nordic group would ever endorse such content. I realize simply appearing there gave an implicit impression that we did. As co-founder and group CEO in THQ Nordic AB, I take full responsibility for all of THQ Nordic GmbH's action and communications. I've spent the past several days conducting an internal investigation into the matter. I assume that every member of the organization has learned from this past week's events. I take this matter very seriously, and we will take appropriate action to make sure that we have the right policies and systems in place to avoid similar mistakes in the future. As a Swedish-based, fast-growing group, we firmly support equality and diversity. We are also working actively to combat discrimination, harassment, and misconduct. We are already in the process of developing new work processes based on the United Nations SDG, or Sustainable Development Goals, and using the GRI Global Reporting Initiative standards, and we will accelerate this work going forward. So, with all that being said, your initial thoughts, Greg, like, do you think the damage has been done, or do you think that this is simple, like, oh, they messed up, don't do it again?
What it sounds like to me is a bunch of old people who got on the internet. But no, I don't think it's fair to say damage has been done. I think that they're trying to take the proper avenues and learn from the mistake. It sounds like. I mean, we'll see in the future, but they know they fucked up. They know, and they clearly are trying to fix it. I hope people see that. But as you and I have both seen on the internet quite frequently, once the internet has its haunches in you, they don't let go.
True. I will say it's easy to kind of dip when the fact that 8chan is a child pornography site, essentially. But also,
no, and I do understand that. I do totally see that 100%. But also at the end of the day, were they trying to use the website for that? No. And they understood the mistake they made. Again.
Yeah. And it is simply, I think that down the line they didn't check their sources, they didn't research what 8chan was, and they believed that this was a pretty fine idea. But in the end, they kind of learned the hard way, like, oh, this is actually, we should have been more informed, we should have done research, and we fucked up. And it's good. It's good on them to come out and say, like, hey, we fucked up. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, that's exactly my point. If they didn't, if they acted like nothing happened and tried to sweep it under the rug, I'd be like, nah, guys, come on.
You had to say something.
No, they know they fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think that going forward, I think they'll be more aware of where they want to post their content, or what AMAs they want to do in the future. So yeah, THQ Nordic, you learned your lesson.
It sounds like a bunch of fucking suits.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, just get it on any site that people are talking about games, and 8chan happened to be brought up. Like, hey, find that intern that brought up 8chan. That's whoa. That's where I think the problem lies. I'm joking, by the way. I don't know.
Well, the way that happened was like some
The second you didn't laugh at that, I was like, uh-oh. I didn't come up with a joke.
Actually, yeah, good thing you brought it up. Actually, because I thought you were serious. No, like somebody from the 8chan community or website like went to them and asked like they want to do it. So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So but it was still an emotion of like they didn't know. So
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the whole thing. Like with my folks, like if they're like, my mom the other day, she goes, "Hey, Greg, there's an article here on Facebook about the 3 things that you need on your Nintendo Switch," and I was like, "Okay." I doubt the article is going to help me at all. And she's like, well, this one says that you need to have a portable battery. And I was just like, okay, what kind of portable battery? And it was like this giant fucking hunking thing that you clip onto the back. Not like a portable battery, like a full on like chunk, and it only adds like 2 extra powers, or 2 extra hours. I was like, nah. I don't remember what the other 2 things were, but they were absolutely useless. Oh, one was a projector that was exclusive for the Nintendo Switch. You couldn't use anything else with this projector. And I went, why would I buy a projector that cost $400 exclusively for the Switch when I could buy a projector for $400, $500 that can use an HDMI input and then use my Xbox, my laptop, my Switch, my anything else that uses a fucking HDMI port.
Right.
She was like, I didn't think about that. And I was like, where? Neither did that site.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what this sounds like to me. It sounds like a bunch of people who just don't understand the internet in that fashion were quick to jump on something that they thought would be a good idea. Yep. And it turned, guess what? But that's exactly why I'm giving them the whole like, you guys didn't. It's cute. You guys didn't know.
Just don't do it again.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine that they would, and yeah. I can imagine that from here on out, every single time a website is brought up to them, they're going to do some research on that website.
Oh, hell yeah, they're going to definitely do it. lesson learned. All right, let's move on. Hang on, let me just stop the timer here. Boop. All right, so moving on to, I think, the hottest thing to hit the internet, causing multiple things that